It was okay, but it was a little annoying to read because I kept getting hungry. Better than food, man. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Better Than Food Book Reviews. I'm your host, Clifford Lee Sargent. Hope you're doing well. Great to see you as always. Please hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and the notification bell to get notified every time I drop a new review. And of course, please subscribe and share these videos with people who you think would enjoy these books. Need that second cup of coffee today, boy. Running low on that REM sleep. Anyways, how you doing? Good to see you. Today is Tender as the Flesh by the Argentine author Agustina Bazterrica. The original novel in Spanish is Cadáver Exquisito. Much better title, in my opinion. Tender as the Flesh seems to be a nod to the Fitzgerald novel, Tender as the Night, from the Keats poem. No idea. This was a gift from Anik, a friend and patron. Thanks a bunch, man. I sincerely appreciate it. It was okay, but it was a little annoying to read because I kept getting hungry. This is a dystopian horror / science fiction novel published in 2017. It has been recommended to me several times by several different people. It seems to be quite popular. It takes place in the not too distant future where a virus has rendered animals inedible to humans, as they've all contracted this virus called GGB that spreads among them, so now they're very dangerous to people. Basically, you eat them, you die. They can also shit on you, and you die as well. If they bite or shit on you, you're dead. Strange thing is that, and here comes the first plot hole. The strange thing is that somehow it's not transmissible between humans or something, which makes no sense. But apparently animals can transmit it to humans and between each other, so whatever. So overnight, it seems, en masse, the government and people begin rounding up dogs and cats and killing them and burning them and so on. This includes livestock, of course, so suddenly there's no meat. So of course, what logically follows is the eventual legalization of cannibalism, because human-to-human transmission of the virus seems impossible. What? They die from it, but they can't spread it? I don't know. Seems to be a big question mark plot-wise, but whatever. Kudos to Bazterrica for calling the era that we're living in, shortly after the publication of this book, though. The age of the virus, she totally predicted that one. The Spanish version was published in 2017. The English version, this one, was very appropriately published in 2020. So Marcos, our protagonist, this man of the future, is a guy who works at this dystopian slaughterhouse. I think he's grown up in the business. He used to slaughter animals. Now he slaughters humans. He is very good at his job, which is killing people. He's working there because his dad is in the process of passing away, suffering from dementia, and he needs to pay for his care in a home. The story takes place after all the humans are already eating each other in various creative ways. And that's really all the book is composed of. Gory vignettes featuring the various instances of cannibalism. A goofy church has members that shave their heads and sacrifice themselves to be eaten. A Joseph Mengele-type female lab owner conducts gruesome experiments, like vivisection on human beings. A stone-cold chain-smoking female butcher indifferently chops up human body parts for her wealthy customers. The scavengers are a destitute mob with machetes that surround the security walls of the slaughterhouse where Marcos works, and they hack up anything or anybody thrown to them. A weird kind of Marquis de Sade, Hannibal Lecter-y sort of wealthy guy with long manicured fingernails runs this hunting operation for the extremely wealthy where they hunt celebrities who have gone into debt and make a deal with them that if they survive for a certain amount of time, they can have their debts canceled, but they have to agree to be hunted by this group of wealthy sadists. Anyways, humans are bred for slaughter. Some are labeled and branded on their body FGP, first generation pure, as opposed to being filled with drugs to make them grow faster. Organic versus unorganic, basically. The crime for sleeping with the livestock, these subhumans that are raised for slaughter, is that you, the perpetrator, are sent to the municipal slaughterhouse with them. By the way, if you feel like saving a cow after reading this, consider trading out that piece of old, dead, rotting flesh in your pocket for one of these, a Ridge wallet, the sponsor of today's video. These things are awesome. They are light, sleek, industrial, durable little pieces of modern minimalist design. This is the Damascus model, one of my favorites. But of course, if you'd prefer something different, there's over 30 colors and styles to choose from. Holds up to 12 cards plus room for cash on the back. They either come with a strap or a clip. This one comes with a clip. I prefer those. You can actually hook it in your pocket as well. And if this wasn't enough to win you over yet, check out their 40,000 5-star reviews. 40,000. The durable material means that each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. You can buy this one wallet and carry it for life. In fact, the Ridge team is so confident you'll like it, they'll let you test drive it for 45 days. You can send it back for a full refund if you don't love it. Get 10% off your order today with free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/betterthanfood and using the discount code betterthanfood. The link is below. Thanks a bunch. So yeah, society behaves as if it just dropped all empathy for humans in a generation or two. Like the demand for meat was so great that they just decided to breed humans for slaughter. I don't buy it. But for the sake of the review, let's say I did. So things get increasingly complicated as, his wife is separated from him because of the death of their child from natural causes, it sounds like. His father is dying, very tragic, very difficult. And somebody drops off a female head, like as in, that's the term that they refer to the human cattle as head. Somebody drops off a first generation pure female head at his house as a gift. And I forget why they do that. And things get complicated when he falls in love with her. Yeah. So what do you do when you fall in love with somebody who you are not legally able to love and who you're supposed to treat culturally as a subhuman, as a piece of food? What happens indeed? The plot thickens. Marco's names are Jasmine, and eventually he sleeps with her and impregnates her, which is illegal. And the punishment for sleeping with chattel is being sent to the municipal slaughterhouse yourself, along with your chattel, of course. Waste not, want not. Nothing goes to waste in this system. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's a book. The whole moral of the story is that if we continue treating animals with cruelty, if we kill them and eat them and torture them and train ourselves to be desensitized to their suffering, there's nothing stopping us from doing that to humans. Sure, that's true. Nevertheless, we find ourselves at a strange position in the top of the hierarchical food chain, so to speak. We are apex predators. The book seems to make the claim that society is built on hypocrisy and lies, and creates a fictional society that is just so appalling that, of course, even we can recognize it. It's a little condescending in that manner. But hey, fair enough. The 20th century showed us astounding amounts of depravity. Hell, it never stopped. The possibilities of human cruelty are limitless, as far as I can see. But as the whole book is a giant commentary on factory farming, capitalism, animal experimentation / vivisection / animal rights, and the patriarchy, essentially the most popular of liberal boogeymen, it's like, dude, my allergies are raging because of the dust coming off this thing, And I don't even have allergies. For the record, I'm not left or right. I'm immediately skeptical of any and all sides, period. If somebody's wearing a hat supporting something, I'm out, including anarchists. If anything, I'm exhausted by everybody and I strive as hard as I can to be apolitical. Though I am fascinated by all fringe radicals of any side. And all ideas are valid in literature, I say write whatever you want so long as it's interesting. That's the beauty of literature, is that it never adheres to a strict code. It can't. It's constantly self-immolating and rising from the ashes, But I'd wager this book will not ruffle any political feathers. It toes the party line perfectly. It's perfectly culturally acceptable. I mean, ultimately, in a way, Bazterrica, that is, she's probably correct regarding the ultimate moral and message of the book. But the thing is, we already know this. This is ancient. So why haven't we changed? That's what's interesting to me. And perhaps, to be fair, that's what the ending means in the book. The answer to why haven't we changed being because it's too difficult and it appears the pros outweigh the cons. Survival by adaptation, basically. Maybe that's what the ending means. I don't know. You tell me. I was disappointed in the ending. I thought it was a total rug pull. I thought it was ridiculous. It just felt too simplistic, and I just don't think it's that simple, right? But maybe it is, and I'm just a brainwashed petite bourgeois American consumer. America. But yeah, that's more of the disturbing question to me. Like, why haven't we changed with this horrifying knowledge? Because the pros must outweigh the cons. That seems to be the unbearable truth of society. And that's what the ending might mean. But maybe not. It's a very moralistic tale that claims it's not, trying to horrify us by presenting us with the truth about ourselves and human nature. Look at yourself, shame on you for eating meat. This is you. You're eating yourself. Capitalism is cannibalism. Meat is murder. Well, sure. Yeah. Sure. Capitalism is evil. Sometimes it is. Sometimes capitalism is horrific, exploitative, downright cruel. Mostly, from what I can see, it's something much more similar to nature itself. That is, completely indifferent to any laws or ideals save for the ones which it's built upon. Which is to say, completely indifferent to human ideals and utopic visions of how things should be. Rather, it just, like nature, follows the truth of what is. The format of the book is begging a solution, yet gives you nothing. As a wise economist named Thomas Sowell once said, there are no solutions, only trade-offs. As far as I can tell, that's true. And to the best of my knowledge, actually, The final irony, the most popular alternative has resulted in actual cannibalism. That would be communism. I'm specifically referring to the stuff that happened in the 20s in Russia with Lenin. But what do I know? I'm just some guy bitching about books. I digress, and you can decide for yourself. It doesn't matter where you stand politically. You can be whatever you want. I don't care. I have no advice. I'm not here to convince you. I don't have it figured out. I don't know nothing. But let's get back to the book, the piece of art itself. I felt the book was too comical to be truly horrifying and too violent and gory to be truly comical. So they cancel each other out and it's just dead on arrival. Neither black comedy nor horrifying commentary. Boring. I was never surprised once. The novel seems like it was workshopped. Like it was like passed around to all these people and it was just like rewritten to placate all of them, you know? So it was just like, it's just like this horror novel that's designed to please the lowest common denominator, you know? Like, so, you know, I don't feel 100% about this critique because it's like, I mean, it's kind of like when I ripped apart Stephen King, right? Like it's just inappropriate. Like I'm like I'm picking the wrong fight, you know? Because maybe it's not trying to be serious literature, but some people seem to be presenting it that way. So maybe that wasn't the author's intention, but she's like not saying anything and secretly hoping that some people will take it seriously, you know what I mean? I think some people are, hence my thoughts. Like this is not a good book. At the end of the day, it's about as artistically challenging as a Serbian film, which I was not a fan of. And in the same vein, it's just sort of sad without substance. Look at what we're capable of. At least it's less hypocritical, as one character says. Yes, humans are capable of eating other humans and acts of beyond appalling cruelty. Sure, we know. We're humans. But what do we do with that? Why? The question to be brought up and worked through and asked, presented, you know, by each generation in a different way, a radically original way. This is the goal of every generation, I'm saying, with literature or film, is why? Is why? Why? And the book doesn't appear to have a theory about why. It just portrays a logical extreme, which is more a grisly shock value entertainment horror novel. And it could just be poor judgment on my part. I might be just barking up the wrong tree. If so, my apologies. I thought this was meant to be taken seriously. I thought it had one foot in that camp enough that it wanted to be taken seriously. If not, it's just a horror novel and it's just like, it is what it is, and it's like, it wasn't meant to be anything else. And the kind of commentary was sort of like just a byproduct or kind of just like slipped in there, and that wasn't the primary function or intention. Hey, I mean, horror novel, easy read, eat your heart out, go for it. You're gonna love it. But, you know, I mean, if you want to be freaked out, read Crash, right? I mean, for quoting Deleuze in the beginning and Beckett in the middle, I was expecting something, you know, more challenging, nuanced, complicated. It's not. The most interesting thing about the novel is the author's horror at what people do and are capable of. I mean, she's shocked. She seems to be shocked that her friend was laughing about, you know, the German eating the baby in the barbecued sandwich with the sauce that falls in his white sneakers, which admittedly, like, you know, the scene is total black comedy. I mean, the white sneakers and the stain on the shoes, it's just, but she's, you know, that the humor is lost on her is odd to me. The fact that the humor is lost on her is more odd than the fact that her friend finds it humorous. So, the most interesting thing about the book is the author's horror at what people do and are capable of. That's fertile soil for fresh ideas, for sure. That's where she started. But the antagonists are so ridiculously evilly evil, and the displays of cruelty so obvious or low-hanging fruit. I mean, it just turns into a Netflix episode in book form. You know exactly what it's gonna do. You know exactly what it's gonna do, and it even has the twist at the end, you know? It was written to be optioned. It was written to get that cash, you know? Which would have been hysterical if she's writing this commentary on capitalism. Meanwhile, the entire time she's actually setting up this totally sellable novel that's like she knows it's going to be optioned by Netflix or whatever. You know, like she's gonna make money off this shit. And sure enough, like that's maybe the the funniest thing in the. There's a lot of things like this. You know, that's the funniest thing in like in the flap in the back. It's this book that's just railing against capitalism, and yet it says, you know, it even advertises this. It says it's been optioned for television. Of course it has. Also, it's rather funny to note that in the author photo on the back flap, she's wearing a leather jacket. I know it's probably fake, but you know, what if it wasn't? This is just my, you know, this is just what I feel like reading shit like this. You know, it's just like, is anybody buying this, really? Like, are people like actually buying this shit? Like, it's just such garbage, man. I don't know. Why do I feel like every time people want to convey human cruelty, they just eat a baby? They don't do anything complex and nuanced like J.M. Coetzee, or really scathing modern critique like Michel Houellebecq. They just eat a baby, or kill a puppy, or a small, innocent, cute animal. I mean, come on, people. It's such a lazy thing to do. It's such a lazy thing to do. Even Cormac McCarthy in The Row, some guy like with a barbecue spit with a baby on it. It's just like, I felt it's just too easy. It just drifts immediately into the realm of the absurd, you know? It's just like Grand Guignol Theater. Like, it's like, all right, but not better than Food. I would not reread it. I was never, not once, actually surprised. It was exactly what you'd expect, which is all that people want these days in contemporary fiction. Nothing too crazy, nothing actually radical. Eating meat is bad, capitalism is bad, patriarchy is bad. Shame on you. Like the slaughterhouse employees, the heavy-handedness of the moral just keeps bludgeoning you over the head. Shame on you, you capitalistic, meat-eating oppressor. Bah! I'd say if you like Stephen King, check it out. If dystopian torture porn is your jam, eat your heart out. But I'm a jaded bastard, man. I grew up on this shit. I grew up reading and watching The Darkest of the Dark. Maybe other people haven't, so it's fresh for them. I don't know, it seems like a horror novel for teenagers, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not good or bad. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. It's fine. She's not a bad writer. It's just not a great book. And the idea, you know, the idea didn't convince me because it didn't work from the get-go. So I was hoping for something more nuanced, more developed. I was much more intrigued by the eerie, dark depravity of Fernanda Melchor, as far as new female Latin American authors writing dark literature. My suggestion, if you want to be freaked out, would be to check out her book Hurricane Season. Not life-changing or groundbreaking by any means, but good. As a horror novel, I guess Tender as the Flesh is fine. I mean, it's like a Twilight Zone episode. It's just a horror novel. Sorry if it's like coming on too strong, you know, nothing against the author. I mean, I wish her all the best. As literature, I just felt it didn't really ask any interesting or new questions. And as a socioeconomic commentary, it's about as deep as reading an article from The Atlantic. The rich eat the poor, or the rich feed off the poor, or exploit the poor, or rape the poor, all day long, and that's the only possible way they could ever maintain their wealth. That's the definition of capitalism the book seems to imply. Capitalism is cannibalism, basically. What a revelation, I'm totally changed. I'm gonna go shit on everybody on Instagram and Facebook. Off to the store to buy tofu. And yeah, fire whoever chose this title. I mean, it's goofy. I mean, what the fuck? You know, honestly, to confess, I could just be sour grapes because I was writing something in the same world, and I see so many problems in here that I saw in my own work. It just doesn't work. So that's certainly influencing my opinion. And of course, she's the more successful author. She finished her book, congrats to her. And I'm sure she's a far better writer than I. I did not finish mine because I could not find a way to be satisfied with it. And I'm definitely not satisfied with this. Take all I say with a massive grain of salt. Now, there is a short story by Roald Dahl that has actually haunted me since I was a kid, when my mom read it to me, out of his omnibus, I think. It's called Pig. It's a version of this story, but it's far more sinister. Very unsettling, if I remember correctly. I recommend it. And there's also a much more sinister and disturbing Cuban novel by a poet named Virgilio Piñera, which I reviewed a couple years ago, called La Carne de René, René's Flesh, which is a surrealist horror story centered around masculinity and cannibalism. Very, very odd book, really unusual. Doesn't really work, but is more compelling than many books on this, in this world, you know, with these themes. Just creepy, just kind of disjointed and dreamlike, and very, very odd, very cruel, but poetic. So yeah, let me know what you think about the ending, because I thought it was a total rug pull. Like the whole thing was like built up being one thing, and then, you know, only to have it all taken away and thus kind of made irrelevant, you know, like he's stopped eating meat, and then his actions at the end completely change our view of him. So what was the point, basically? I guess the point is that the pros of adapting and living in this society outweigh the cons of rebelling against it, because it's futile, basically. Is that what she's saying? It's futile, and society will eat you. Society will consume your body or your soul. You know, is that the message here? Because I guess, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that, you know, but was not a fan, would not read again. Not better than Food. Coffee time. For those of you who are new, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I take all the names of the Patreons on Patreon who have donated $5 or more per video to the show. I place their names in this mason jar, and I pull out a name for every review I do, and I send whoever's name I pull out a hard copy of the book I'm reviewing, plus a bag of coffee, roasted by yours truly. And the coffee is delicious. Right now it's one of my absolute favorites, which is from Myanmar. Yeah, fantastic stuff. If you would like to help support the show and get in on that, you can click on the link below or go to patreon.com/books are better than food and donate $5 or more per video, and I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you. For $1 or more, you'll get access to the Patron-Only Reviews, the Discord channel, which is just a short document I send out every Friday letting people know which books are in the pipeline that I'm going to review, or stuff I'm interested in, you know, books, films, music, articles, recommendations, changes week to week. If you think we have similar taste, I think you'll enjoy that. Unfortunately, international shipping is not included. Sorry about that. Thank you very much to all the patrons, and best of luck. Okay, here we go. Nina P. I'm really glad you won this, Nina, because I want to know what you think about this book. Thank you very much, Nina. I sincerely appreciate it. You're going to receive Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica, plus some delicious coffee, and I hope you love both. Thank you so much. Nina is an author herself, and a very good one, and I would actually love to hear what she has to say about this book. I'd be very interested. It might be completely different from what I've interpreted from it, but yeah, it would be quite interesting indeed. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching. If you read the book, I hope you enjoy it, and if you don't enjoy it and you agree with me, well, you know, you might want to check out the ones that I recommended, and yeah, please subscribe if you have not already, and hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and always remember, bring a book wherever you go. All right, take care of yourselves. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Ciao.